Hello, good morning and welcome to this GLTHtable, Customer Evolution in the Next 1,000 Days. Thanks to the audience for being here. Thanks to all those who are follow us in the streaming. Thanks also to the organization for hosting. Sorry, can you hear me now? Better? No? Yeah? It's okay? Okay, now. And special thanks to our guests, the speakers today who join us for this table. With them, we will for sure be inspired, we will learn, we will obtain new perspectives on the topic that concern us today. I'm Cristina Rey. I've developed my entire professional career in the communication and advertising world. Currently as CEO for and Chief Transformation Officer for IPG Media Brands within the Spanish market. I will moderate this roundtable, but before to start, please let me introduce our guest today. On the right, Carlos Costa, Director of Master's Degrees in Communication, Advertising and New Technologies at ESIC Business School. Welcome, Carlos.
Thank you.
In the middle, Francisco Quintana, Paco, as he prefers.
Paco, yeah.
Investment strategy at ING. And finally, Primo Vázquez, B2C Business Director at Legálitas. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Before to start, allow me a reflection to get into the matter. We could say that we are on the threshold of a new era, driven by the convergence of cutting-edge technologies such as artificial intelligence, cloud, machine learning, Internet of Things, and blockchain, for example, making new and endless business opportunities available to us. The new expanded digital ecosystem space allows us to design and live as customer experiences that exceed the physical and digital space as we previously knew. And finally, big data. Its smart use allows us to know people and clients better than ever. And all this stuff at a speed we've never seen before. So if we consider this new ecosystem as the new era, as the new reality, Primo, what do you think the client's profile will be like in 1,000 days?
Thank you, Cristina. Current trends, as you said, personalization, real-time, digitalization, big data, are generating a more technological customer, and at the same time, it's a more connected customers. These customers are more informed than in previous times, not so distant. And with this information, they can compare companies, brands, products. They are a more demanding customer, and this affects in a big way to product, services, and companies. At the same time, with all the current stimuli, the customer are becoming to be much asking for immediacy. This immediate availability is now a service standard. I mean, maybe 5 years ago, you can ask for a question to your lawyer and wait 1 week. Now you can wait 5 minutes. And just for remember, when I was a child and I received a Círculo de Lectores magazine in my home, and until I got the book I selected, the time it took almost 1 month. And now, in only 1 minute, I can download a book in my Kindle. No? So, and not with this, because if we look at the Z generation, They have a different approach to the brands. They are becoming much less loyal. I mean, I don't think that they don't trust in brands. They trust in brands, but they are more open to trying new ones. So this is a very important thing to define the positioning of one company. And the other point is the content. The content, now the customer is looking for authenticity. So they need to find that authenticity. In our case, for instance, we try to do that with a lot of technology because we are a legal tech and a lot of content, much content.
And Carlos, do you see any particularity or singularity within sorry, Paco, yeah. Oh, sorry, Paco. Do you see any particularity or singularity within the banking and finance sector?
Not really. Sorry, is the mic working?
I don't think so. Okay.
Hi. Hello. Hola.
Yes.
That was to prove that I speak Spanish too. And I was surprised listening to Primo. We have the same problems, you know, in banking, how unoriginal we are. The clients are extremely well informed now, better than ever. We produce way too much information. I read the other day that every day we produce 82 years of videos in YouTube. And the information is growing 50–60%. They have way too much information. If you're going to knock on the door of the client, if you're going to send in an email, if you're going to call him, you're going to send a push-up notification, you're going to do anything, you better have something interesting to say. You cannot go there knocking on the door randomly saying you want a mortgage, you want a consumer loan, you want a credit card, you want to like just knocking to see what works. No, it doesn't work because in 3 minutes time you're hated. You know, you're moved to the spam folder, and it's very difficult to come back from the spam folder. So in our company, I was surprised because I came before from traditional banking, and ING is basically an IT company. This is 80% are techie guys, just one economist, that's me, and then the rest of guys that know how to do banking. And these guys, the most powerful department is called CI, it's customer interactions. You know, you prepare whatever you do a campaign, magnificent product, but then you tell your colleagues, now I have to go through CI. And everybody's like, oh shit, I thought you already done that. No? So you go there and they are like the guardians of the client. You go say, but listen, I have this fantastic mortgage or this investment product or this whatever. Can I sell it to 2 million clients? We have 4 million clients. So they know because we think that, and they say, no way, these guys already received 2 contacts this month, you know, the 2 million, no, these 500,000 are not interested. They say, okay, I'll let you send to these 100,000, but you're gonna have to wait 1 month because we already sent them an email a month ago, okay? They are very careful about not bothering the client enough because you don't want to say, what are they, again, these ING people? You know, spam folder. So that, number 1, is a very picky, sensitive client. And number 2, exactly what Primo was saying, extremely less loyal than before. You know, we were not used to that. We were in stable, long-term relationships, we banks, with our customers. You get your bank underneath your house. My father used to be a client of Unicaja, I'm from Malaga, and he was a client from Unicaja for all his life. You don't change banks, you know, you don't change football teams, it's the same. It's not the case anymore, you know. And it's changing very rapidly. And I see that the banking sector is like, oh my God, you know, it's like, how they're cheating on me. You know, no, they're not cheating you, they're better informed and they don't have a long-term relationship with you. You know, you better do something good for them or they're gonna run out. In 2019, the share of clients in Spain that had only one bank was 70% and had been the same for decades. In 2021, by the time we finished the pandemic, that share came down from 70 to 50. So 20%, we're talking about many millions of customers have changed from one bank. They have decided to try an open relationship with their bank, you know, with a second bank, you know. The average number of banks per client right now in Spain went up from 1.4 to 1.7. That's a lot of competition. The minute you blink, your client is gone. It's banking with the guy nearby. So it's a very well-informed, very demanding, with information overload and unfaithful client we're dealing with. So these are the games of the rule of the game, so you better play by those rules, otherwise you're out of business.
Really interesting thoughts. At the end, the customer and the client, the future customer and clients have the control, absolutely, of their relationship. So thank you. Now, Carlos, in 1,000 days, a short time for there to be a change? Or are the changes noticeable in less and less time ever?
Well, I mean, I haven't studied physics, but time passage perception is relative, right?
Yeah.
So we need to consider some things. For example, the way a person used to live in Greek, the old Greek, ancient Greek, a kid in the ocean, in the ancient Greek, his son and his grandson would have the same life, basically. Generations through generations would have the same life, same style, same tools, because the institutions are much more stable and the innovations the pace of innovation was very slower. Nowadays it's completely different. My life is completely different from my grandmother's life and obviously from my grandson's life, because we live in what we call liquid modernity times, times of a change, constant change, fluid and constant flow of innovations and chaos. Basically, in this framework, what we can perceive is that some things will change fast and others will take some time. I don't think that customers will change in certain aspects from here to 3 years or 5 years on the basics, on the core. So all customers want what they want. They want value for money. They want advantage. They want pleasure. They want to have less friction. This is basic stuff that some companies are achieving nowadays. But other customers, but otherwise there will be, and that is happening, change in the way the value creation is created and delivered. And basically what we can see is that the use of technology, the use of innovations, and the concern from certain aspects of, for example, societal and environmental concerns are pressing the customers to be attentive to new offers, new companies. Basically what I see, we are in a historic moment for companies that are reinventing the rules of the game, as Paco mentioned, the rules of the game. The rules of the game with intelligence, artificial intelligence, and the other innovations and methodologies, because we talk a lot about innovations and technologies, but we don't talk about the human side of technology, which are methodologies, retraining, reskilling. If we combine all these things, we will see new Googles, new Amazons, we will see new Apples. And they are already organizing the new rules of the game for something that I sometimes we think about the new customers. I believe that sometimes there are no new customers, which are companies that create new customers. If you think about innovations, basically we are talking here about innovations. Mercedes-Benz invented the market. Steve Jobs invented the market, and other companies that were innovative invented the market. So the customers are not waiting for this, but they are eager to get the core values, the core advantages, if someone come up with a good solution for them. So we all see many things happening, and some other things need to be kept as it is, as concern about people, concern about quality, because the combination of the two words, it will be a winning proposition, I believe.
Sure. Paco, how companies perceive these changes? What do they look at?
We have a lot of corporate clients, so it's not only my impression, it's also those of our clients. So what I see, it's a mix of several things. First, they're surprised. You know, in the same manner, I was a bit surprised when I saw our clients leaving through the door after the pandemic. Actually, not our case. You know, we managed to keep them, but many banks
Cheers
went
for
through.
that.
Yes, yeah, actually did very well. But you know, they're surprised at the speed of change. It's like many, I feel, at least in our SMEs, many companies have not understood. They have the wrong thought that the Spanish market, it's a traditional, slow-changing market, and that is wrong. You know, at least in technology, we are one of the fastest countries adopting new technology in Europe. electronic payments, which is something we deal with daily, Bizum, or the use of wallet. In terms of Bizum, the penetration in Spain now is 55%, something like that. Is the highest among large economies in the European Union. Neither Germany, nor Italy, nor France have that kind of penetration of electronic payments. You get a new toy in Spain, and it's not like, oh, we are traditional, what is this, I don't like it. No, it's like, ooh, let's try it, And it works very well. So not only in Sweden, the penetration, and Norway, the penetration is higher. But large economies, supposedly traditional, it's not the case. So the minute you blink, new technology walks in, you're out of the market. So, and they come like, what did I do wrong? And the second one is the reaction to that, seeing how the situation changes. So the second reaction is concern. They are scared. As I say, the minute you blink it. See what happened with the market share. I just read yesterday, Twitter has lost 16% of traffic year on year. What have they done wrong? Nothing. I mean, they worked their ass off. They were like, lots of engineers working there to make a better product. I change this, get the blue tag. I'll make it longer. I'll make video. You cannot make video, make calls on Twitter, and you lose 16% of traffic simply because, it's like sorry for using the analogy of the relationship. It's like a relationship that goes bad and you don't know why. I can imagine the executive at Twitter is like, but what did I do wrong? I don't know. It's just not working. It's exactly like that. You don't get on the right spot. Again, you're out of the market. And it could be like you lose market share. It could be you lose market value. In the last year, the big fintechs, which are our competition, think of Revolut, Klarna, which is a solution to pay in installments, SumUp, Checkout.com. These guys lost 50% of their market value since the peak, which was 1.5 years ago. Interest rates start to go up, and then one day, one of your customers that pay $500 million for a little chunk of your company say, "I want out." They go to the market, they sell that little chunk, and they only get 250 million. So that means that the value of your company in 1.5 years went down to half. Why? Situation has changed, like interest rates the money is not so abundant right now. So now you told me you were gonna make money in 5 years, and now I cannot wait 5 years. So you need to wait 2 years. Otherwise your company is worth half that. They are scared because the impact of this changing environment in their market share on the market value is very fast, and it's very difficult to manage. And third, they're excited. They're excited because this changing environment also brings opportunity. There are cracks in the system. Like these little banks, ING 20 years ago, when they knock on the door, like all the large traditional banks, they just laugh at them. It's just 4 guys with a telephone, in an office in Las Rozas, which was actually the case, But here we are, like 20 years later, being the 5th, 6th bank in Spain and very solid. These guys, these Revoluts, the N26, these banks are knocking on the door. The minute they see a little crack, you're slow with your clients. You're slow in the onboarding of your clients. You charge them a commission. 1 million clients are going. So it's also a very exciting environment. Very dangerous, but very exciting environment. So those are the reactions that I see in companies.
Great. Carlos, do you want to add something?
Well, the pace of change nowadays, as I said, in times of liquid modernity, it's very, very, very fast. And I have Revolut, by the way, and everything
is better.
Yeah, and I think that, well, just for example, it's a recent experience. Well, this is a little detail, but I delivered a car in Hertz in Brussels 2 weeks ago. I gave the key and said goodbye, and I said what? And it was absolutely frictionless. This is not new, obviously, but I thought, well, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, there was someone coming, or maybe some company that were checking, and they'll give me something, and I have to go there to cashier. So I personally love frictionless market. So the first time I went to Santiago Bernabeu, I said I got a ticket, and they opened the door, and then I was there seeing the field. And I said, well, at Maracanã would be completely different. There would be a lot of scuff and struggle to get there. And I said, well, that was amazing. But at the same time, when I go to Manatera's movie, I have the same experience that I go there and enter, and I get it, and I get it. And then you think about what about the people relationship? I really don't care. I really don't care about this. I think many customers don't care about what the clients, people can do wrong in your relationship, in your interaction, because we start thinking about artificial intelligence, the wrong side of artificial intelligence, as we are perfect. But as humans, we are not perfect. As deliverer of services, We are far from perfect. For example, doctors are far from maybe I would prefer to have a doctor in the primary attention that would be just a scanner and then gave me the answer. I would not need a doctor that usually that doesn't show sympathy or has a good humor. That's reality. Let's face the reality. Let's say, well, it's good to have high touch, but high touch with some people is not working. It's not working. So people will be eager to change to other solutions if they see there's no friction, it's fine, it's fun, it's easy, and I don't have to face someone that is in a bad mood today.
Yeah.
And but back to the point of more structure answer. Sorry for the abstract and considerations, but basically, because smart companies, what they do to understand the change. First of all, they think they focus on mega trends. This is the basic stuff. So mega trends, and then if they are really smart, they go to more the depth. They start scan something we call institutional context. This is very important for reputation purpose, because if you are not in the right side of the history, you are out in terms of legitimacy. And there are some industries nowadays that can risk lose their what we call license of operate because they are on the wrong side. They don't know how to deal, or they don't know how to deal with people like recent crisis with President Rubiales, ex-President Rubiales. So the person there is not on the right side of the history because he doesn't understand that there was a big change in the institutional context of the society, especially in Spain, that puts him in the wrong place of the history. This is the first point. A company cannot be in the wrong side of the history because can be, for example, tobacco industry or in others, and now the oil industry. The second point is to understand the direction of the flight in terms of the competition. You don't need to be the first, you don't need to be the pioneer, but you need to be somewhere around that. The second mover advantage is real. It's sometimes good to get there second. Apple is an example, but you need to go to a certain direction. You need to pay attention to the changes in the market. And thirdly, of course, you need to pay attention to the micro level is in your customers, gaps. In your customers, in your competitors' customers. What's going on? What are the gaps? What their customers are doing, what our customers are looking for that you recently or now don't offer. So if you combine all these three things, you see the change. The problem is if you want to change. And then this is about culture. Today in ESIC, there is a big event at night. I'm inviting you guys, if you want, at the Pozuelo, is about the culture, innovation culture. And you can see everything coming. You can see Amazon getting your market. But if you don't know how to do this, if you don't want to how to do this, your people don't want to do this, and you don't believe, you will lose market. Simply because you don't want to do, because your culture cannot support the change. And that's an aspect that sometimes we don't see talking in terms of technology adoption, right? Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Primo, let's go a bit further and go into acquisition. Mm-hmm. How will vary acquisition techniques, acquisition strategy from now on?
Well, from my point of view, I think there are a lot of things to do. But if I have to highlight three, for me, the most important in these times is omni-channel strategy. And the second is personalization. I don't say segmentation, I say personalization, focus in the specific customer. And the last one maybe is sales experience. Regarding omni-channel, the customer journey today is not linear. The customer starts the approach to a product or to a brand for one channel, later go to another channel, and finally ends the purchase process in a different channel. So we have to be prepared for that. It's impossible to do only in one channel and to try to be effective with the market. The second point is personalization, in which, for me, nowadays, the customer knows what he wants, and he needs a solution specific for him. so I can go to him with a general solution. In our case, we said that because our business model is focused on subscription, but we saw that some of the customers asked for specific transactional solutions. Why don't we do that solution to the customers if I can? So we decided to create a new portfolio to specific transactional solutions. So this is to adapt to the customer needs. And the last one is for me, is the sales experience. At the end, if we talk about authenticity, the shopping experience, the sales experience must be perfect, hassle-free and fast. This is very important nowadays.
Great. Carlos, and taking all this stuff into account and being you an expert in commercial communication, what do you think about advertising? How would it seems? What kind of ingredients will add to be able to connect in a relevant way with this kind of new customer?
You're an expert on this. Yeah. Well, I'm an advertiser, and I direct I lead a master's degree in advertising communications. And well, very simple answer because it's a long conversation. But basically, every company, every agency, the agency market and the advertising industry changed completely in 20 years because of digital, right? Yeah, there are more digital consultancies than advertising consultants. But advertising, again, let's go back to the basics. It's about, my definition, it's about a persuasive message that helps to sell products and services. So they need to focus on this, to how to do this. But the way they're going to do this, or the way they're doing this, is digital, social networks. And with artificial intelligence, it opens two main routes. One is it's about optimization of when the message will be placed in front of the customer, the right customer, optimization of market resources. Artificial intelligence will deliver much more insights about this for planning purpose. The second part, which is the tip of the iceberg, is the creativity, the beauty of creativity leveraged by artificial intelligence. We will see things, we will see projects, ideas, messages, events, and campaigns being helped or created by artificial intelligence in a way that we have no idea. It opens a frontier. It's a lovely moment to be in the creative industry right now. It's a lovely moment. And I think good agencies will take advantage of this.
Yeah. Paco, and how the context and how the economical context affects this new customer, this new consumer?
I don't know if you noticed, but there's been a bit of inflation in Spain and all over the world in the last couple of years, and that is something that very young economists, as myself, did not even remember that used to happen, because we went through a long period of 0% inflation. So we've noticed that it has become a top priority for clients. Price is always relevant when you're deciding when you're setting the price, designing a product. Whether you're going to go for a premium, more expensive product or a more basic, less expensive product, it's always a strategic decision. There's always market for price, for low prices. But for the same client 2 years ago versus today, prices has gained a lot of relevance. That's what we've noticed in our clients. Tell you a story. 2 years ago, we test. We always, every time we're going to launch a new product, we do testing. We take 100 clients, for instance, or potential clients, and we tell them, what would you need or what would you like? In this case, we were talking about insurance, and we had two options, basic insurance, low-cost product, you could buy in the branches, or more premium, with wider coverage, higher quality insurance. The decision, according to our clients, we didn't care, one or the other, was we rather like this one, the premium. Situation has changed completely, and we are out of the market. We are outpriced. Not out of the market, selling okay, but below our expectations because prices gain consideration. And those clients that told us in 21, oh, this is really nice, I don't mind paying this 10, 15% more, they do mind those 10, 15% because everything else is going up 10, 15% more. So I know this is very basic, almost stupid, but if you're designing a new legal product for your clients next year, price is more important than it used to be 1 or 2 years ago. I know it's very basic, but that's what we're seeing. That's why many people are tasting sunflower oil for the first time in their life, no? Like aceite de girasol, because we see whatever happened with olive oil. Same is happening in the financial sector. For instance, when you're choosing, you go for the sunflower oil, you wait for the 1 or 2 years for the olive oil. So that's number one, demand for more basic products. And then the second one is related to what Primo was saying before, the less loyal. It's a complicated client to deal with, okay? My boss hears this, she's gonna kill me, but it's a complicated, as we said, it's less loyal, it's gonna change, but at the same time, because they have this frictionless experience. If the guy in the garage, Carlos brings the car to, next time they don't pick up the key and he has to wait 5 minutes, he'll say, no, not enough. I'll go to a different garage. The same is happening. So you have a guy that it's zero cost to change from you to another bank or from you to another legal firm, but it's price conscious, what we said before. They're not willing to pay 1% more. Actually, they're willing to pay, they want to pay 5, 10%. How do you match those two things? They're very demanding, not willing to accept one mistake. The minute you make a little mistake, they're out of business, and they want it cheaper. It's a very difficult, combination to match. In the last 10 years, I know how it was done. Interest rates were at 0%. People didn't know, that's my financial hat. Investors didn't know where to put their money. If you offer them 1%, it's okay. If you offer them 5% in 5, 10 years' time, it's also okay. Because the alternative is put it in the bank at 0%. So basically, we subsidize growth. Uber, Cabify, Glovo, Just Eat, all these guys spend hundreds of millions of euros in subsidizing your car rides, your food in your house. That Globo, that Cabify that you took for 6 euros to go from Las Rozas to Madrid, the cost was 10 euros. Someone else was paying for those 4 euros, the investor. And why was he doing that? Because they said, let's do this for 2 years, and then we get market share. People get used, and in 3 years' time, we'll charge them the 10 euros, maybe 11, so we can make €1 profit, and that's the business. Because I have no alternative for my money, I'll do this now. But now money, it's 5%. You knock on the door of the bank, it's gonna charge you 5%. So this, let's burn 100 million euros just to gain a little bit of market share, and then we'll see in 5 years' time, it don't work anymore. So basically, there's no solution for that. If the client is asking you for a cheaper service, and they are willing to kick you on the ass if you're not delivering that service, maybe you need to accept that you're not able to deliver those services at that price. You need to choose your positioning, okay? Because otherwise you might bankrupt your company, believing, getting leverage, going to the bank and asking for money to subsidize the client for a service that it might not be sustainable in the future. So those products need to be realistic, okay? Because the macro context has changed a lot in the 5 years. If you get a business development guy that hasn't worked in the last 2 years, he's gonna come with ideas that don't work in this current context, okay? And the third one, and it's going back to the original, personalization. If your client is going through a divorce, don't knock on the door to offer tax advice. Don't knock on the door to tell them about inheritances. He's concerned about his divorce. And you should know by now, if you have a little bit of intelligence, of data analysts, that the kind of question he's asking, the phase of his life that is going to, in our case, you can see, the kind of expenses they have, everything. If a guy went 2 years ago to Mexico to the Caribbean, went last year to the Caribbean, and this year's not going to the Caribbean. So in July, you knock the door, they say, would you like a loan to go on vacation? Because we see you haven't bought your vacation yet. That's the kind of personalized, products that you need to put on the, in front of your clients. Otherwise, they knock, they go somewhere else.
Absolutely. I think we have time for one more question. Do you think the markets or the companies are prepared for all these changes is coming alongside the evolution? Carlos, you can start.
Okay. Give you a story. I went to buy a car, my last car, and as my fellow colleagues, panelists have said, I was quite informed about buying a car. I guess we don't go to a city, well, what do you have for me today? It's not like that, right? So I checked a lot about buying the car. And the only thing I could not do is what? For a while, is test driving it. It's the only thing that interests me is to test drive it, to see the beast and to know how it is. And then I organized a test drive. Well, first of all, in one place with the brand that I find ultimately I purchased, the guy saw me there at 6 o'clock in the dealer and said, do you have an appointment? I say, no, I'm just here for fun. I'm just here for fun. 6 o'clock, I used to go to a dealer's just to salute people and see, cheer their day. Why do you think so? I did this through a process, a system, so on and so on, but he didn't know it. So he just would look at me arrogantly and say, what are you doing here? I said, I just want to buy ice cream. Do you have it? And then I said, well, I'm booked. And he did the test. Okay, good. Then I booked in another brand. And went another brand, and it was a young salesman, and he said, well, here it is, the car, this is the financial option. Say, I don't care about financial options. I just want to test the car. But the financial option is very important. Yeah, I know, of course, I need to buy it. But if I don't like the car, why do I need to see the financial options? Yeah, but that was fun. That was beautiful, the innocence of the young employee. He said, well, because our system demands that we show the financial offers before the test drive. They say, well, I don't care about your financial, your training, your performance. I just want to go to the car. By the way, I'm getting pissed off. And then finally I went to the car. And I just saw the car and said, too small, I don't want to anymore. By the way, he asked me, do you want me to take you from the garage? I said, do you think I don't know how to drive a car? That was my beautiful experience with this dealer. When the story ends, after getting a lot of deals from hubs, from portals, and so on, I talked to someone here in Madrid, because I was supposed to go to Huesca to buy a car. And then I finally decided to buy with someone here. And I said, but I haven't talked to you. I haven't seen you. I haven't talked to you. Yeah, I'm just on a WhatsApp with the salesman. And I said, yeah, but I have your car with the specification, the color, and the system that you want, the Bose system. By the way, I want to buy a car around the Bose system. It was basically what I want. So the Bose system was fundamental. And I have everything. At the end, I purchased the car with someone that I have never seen through WhatsApp. So I just needed one point of contact with some physical. The rest was just information. Is the market ready for some people like me? Of course it is. Some companies, some people with just a WhatsApp sold the car. The other want to show me some paper. So it's a matter of culture, back to my previous point. So companies need to change the way they perceive the customers, sometimes very condescending, and sometimes very arrogant, and try to take advantage of the relationship. For example, IKEA. IKEA made us work for them. But we came back, and we think it's fun, right? Go to IKEA, right? Yeah, but we are just slaves, right? Work for them. Yeah, but if you think about another introduction, low-tech introduction, the shopping cart in a supermarket. Do you know how did this happen? In the beginning of 20th century. It was not something everybody had a shopping cart. It was an invention that didn't work in the beginning. Why? And then comes the magic of marketing. Didn't work because nobody wants to be seen as servants with a shopping cart in the beginning of the 20th century or the end of the 19th century. So the guy that was smart in a supermarket just came up with this idea. He put some nice boys and nice ladies, well-dressed people, pushing the cart around the supermarket. And people look at this and say, well, it's not that bad. I can do that. So the introduction of technology depends also on many other things: culture, marketing, education, reskilling. And some companies are doing this and will build the new customer. It's not that that is a new customer, evidently, but also there are people that want to do it in a different way. And if the company show the new way, they will do. I've been buying Amazon since 1996. I have 2 mugs from Amazon. Those days, they give away mugs, right? And I say, and they invented this kind of customer, people that purchase online. Yeah. I was therefore up to grabs.
Primo, looking the same challenge from other perspective, what about talent? Have the companies the right skills, talent, and profiles to succeed in this new ecosystem?
I think the profiles must be changed, or they are changing, because now we have to be prepared for more technology, for more customer-oriented, more data-driving, and this means another kind of profiles. I can put an example with my media department. My media department, I have now hybrid profiles. I mean, they are a mix between media campaign managers with a global understanding of the technology, but they are also project managers. Why? Because they have to interact with a lot of technological departments of the company, the agency, the publisher, the publishing, everyone. Then it's very important to understand all of the things to can translate from the business language to the technological language and to be success with the project. Then for me, it's an issue of culture, as we talked in the previous conversation. Then it's important to move the culture to a more data-driven culture and a more technological culture.
Yeah, definitely. So we're almost finishing our round table. Just to finalize, do you gentlemen want to, briefly summarize main takeaways from your point of view?
Yeah.
So, Paco, can you start?
Sure. Sure. I just realized that I didn't make a very positive description of what's going on in the market, no, because I'm going to make the summary, and I was talking about clients very well informed, but instead of we are companies, and instead of giving it a positive twist, I say they are bored with information, they are fed up, they are unfaithful, and then the companies need to come up with products that might be not possible because they want cheap things and extremely demanding because they are not willing to give up on anything. The upside of that is, as I said, it's a very exciting environment. If I understand that most of you come from the legal sector, now it's a good opportunity to catch a bit of market share of the big guys, the Urias and stuff that probably are here as well. So watch out with the little ones because the market is moving very rapidly, and it takes 2 clicks to lose your client, and it's not easy for the newcomers. Carlos was talking before about methodologies. It's not about hiring IT guys. It's about organizing the company, to be ready culturally, to click, to change in a minute time, if necessary. If the client doesn't like the product, we re-change everything. Almost 2,000 people to copy the model to Spotify, to be able to know in a week time whether a little new product that we create works or not. Cannot afford wasting 6 months of time, developing a new product, a new legal services, a new, advisory, whatever. You need to know in a couple of weeks, otherwise you've wasted way too much money. And those things take time and effort and money. It requires commitment from the company to do that transformation, but it's worth it, at least in our case. So, good luck. It's complicated out there, but it's also very exciting.
Yeah, thank you, Carlos. Paco. Primo?
Well, in brief, for me, the customer is God. So if the customer is changing, the companies have to change. There's no another option. So if the customer needs more things and we have to understand the specific need of every customer, we have to use a lot of technology. And with this technology, we can give or cover that needs. Without technology, I think it's possible.
Carlos, finally.
And we have 36
we
seconds.
are
then
absolutely
you have one
on
more.
time.
Yeah. I think I build on that. I think that it's important for companies to be proactive, not reactive. To think ahead of the curve, right? And of see the curve and see how it can be surfed like Steve Jobs did. And it's famous, the approach Steve Jobs and asked him, what are you doing, Steve? You're just doing nothing. I say, I'm just watching for the new wave coming. So the new wave is clear. The new wave is technology. The new wave is artificial intelligence. The new wave is here. But you need to be proactive because clients will not ask something that they don't know. This is basic on innovation. You need to create new customers. So back to my point, so sometimes there's no new customers. You need to create the new customers. There are companies that create new customers. And that's my message for you guys. Be optimistic about your possibilities.
Well, thank you very much, gentlemen. It was a pleasure to spend that 45 minutes speaking with you. Really interesting. I think there is no doubt at all that we are facing challenging times, challenging customer, but at the same time, we are plenty of new opportunities to get into the business and gain marketplace and market share, as Paco said. So thank you very much to you guys, and thank you very much to the audience to be here and enjoy the rest of the GLTH day. Thank you.
Yeah.